Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan. Hope you're keeping safe and well. I have a young lady with me called Jessica. Now, Jessica came from a place called Salem in the United States, or as she put it, from the New World. Um, she's very bravely come forward to tell her story, and yeah, okay, just take it nice and slowly. All the time in the world. Okay. She said her family came from Boston in Lincolnshire. She was born while they were travelling overseas, but actually was born in America, New World, and they moved to. Sorry, was you? So they moved. They settled in Salem. They had other family members there already, and it was an obvious choice to go and settle in Salem in the New World. Things were fine. Started having a great childhood, and as she started approaching her teens, that's when the problems started. She reached puberty, and her hormones were everywhere, and she started seeing a young man who lived in the woods, and he was to do with like the forestry, husbandry, looking after trees and the wildlife and things like this. Okay, no, don't worry, don't worry. She was seen going backwards and forwards from the woods, and right. There was another young girl who lived in. Well, there were lots of young girls that lived in Salem, but this particular young girl was called Maisie. She also lived in Salem, and she liked the young man that Jessica was seeing, although it was a secret. They didn't want to attract attention to each other, and Maisie didn't like it, and she said that she used to come out the woods at night or early morning, because she was performing satanic rituals, which Jessica assures me is not true. And she then went to the priest. Sorry, Maisie went to the priest, and she was complained, and then from then on, an investigation was imminent, and she got branded a witch. And therefore, a few trials and tribulations she had to go through before she was acquitted, or possibly acquitted, for for yes, practicing witchcraft. She just said to me, practicing witchcraft. She was right. She was thrown into ice cold water in a barrel, and to try and gain a confession. And she kept denying that she was a witch. And they kept putting her into water, and from there they threw her into a dungeon, or like a prison cell, but it was made out of log cabin. It was like in a log cabin, and it was dark and dank and not very nice. From there, she's telling me that from there she was tortured. She was it looked like a barrel, but it had like spikes on it, and she was rolled over it, so that not very big spikes, but they were enough to cause a lot of pain. And she obviously still didn't confess to being a witch. So what happened then was, from there she was flogged with a whip, or it was like it was like a cane or a birch. From right, she's saying a withy from a birch tree, and she was whipped on a bare skin on her back and down her buttocks and down the back of the legs, which was continually whipped. She was continually whipped. Right. Then put back in the prison and left there for a few days on just water, really. And they had to see if she could leave. Right. They tried to see if she could escape from this prison. And one evening, it was very, very hot, a very hot evening, or very warm evening, and obviously the milk soured, and she got blamed for that. Therefore, there were lots and lots of water, rainfall, and the crops failed because of the waterlogging of the fields, and she got blamed for that. Not just her, but there was quite a few people on trial, but we're concentrating on Jessica because she's come forward to me to explain. But they got blamed for the crops failing and the milk souring because it was hot, and then there was a deluge of rain, and the fields flooded and waterlogged, and the crops failed, so they got blamed for that. So therefore, they said that there was witchcraft afoot. There was witchcraft that was there, and they were responsible for it. And on one morning, she says it was a Friday morning, and one morning they said a prayer, and they took them out and hung them. And they hung them from a tree called the hanging tree, and it was in the woods or wooded area or near the wooded area where a road runs. I don't know if it does today, but then it did. And they were all hung together on this tree and or branches of this tree. And she said that she was completely innocent. That she was hormones as a young teenager, same as everybody on the planet has, and they have things are starting to come into play, which I'm not going to go into, but that's what happened. She was going into puberty, and boys were top of her agenda, same as all the young girls, and they were supposed to be God-fearing and go to church and Puritan movement and all this sort of thing, and this is what happened to her. So she was just a normal teenager and she got hung for it. She's brought forward her story to me today because she says, I want everybody to know that I wasn't a witch. I was just a young girl who liked a young man or young boy, young lad, teenage lad, and she got wrongly hung for it, same as all the rest of them did. They couldn't do anything about the weather or the crops failing or the milk being sour. That wasn't their fault, but they blamed them for it. And as we know, historical accounts, I'm sure, will show this, and it was just a ridiculous thing. But anyway, she's just come forward and said, I wasn't a witch, and I was wrongly accused, and I was wrongly tried and wrongly hung, and I didn't do it. And I believe her, to be honest, because the sincerity that she's come forward with is there. Right, thank you. She's thanking me for listening to me and relaying her story and putting it on film, and I thank her for being brave enough to come forward to see me. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, yes. And on that note, she's pulling away now. She's happy now that her story is going to be put out into the open, and she's glad about that. And she's walking away, and thank you, no problem. Anyway, she's gone now. So if you like what I do, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell so that you get notifications of when a new video comes on, so that you won't miss any of my videos that I put on. And on that note, God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching. Bye.